Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is a topic of the top 5 movie trends that need to stop. So, for this video, I'm going to talk about 5 trends that are common in the movie industry that need to stop because it's ruining the quality of movies. So, if you are interested in knowing what these top 5 trends are in a simple and straightforward way to understand, even if you're unfamiliar with this topic, then watch this video in order to find out. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to this list, the first one, definitely, undeniably, that needs to go is 3D animated movies. Okay, now I'm not saying there can't be 3D animated movies. It's just that there's way too many of them to the point that they've gotten really repetitive. It's just ridiculous. Everything from the amount of movies that there are out there, from the Despicable Me series to another one, obviously, um, could be Shrek. Um, uh, to be honest with you, Inside Out, and all that type of stuff. Like, there's just too many 3D animated movies. Like, I remember the time when 3D animated movies came out, people thought it was something special and different, like the Finding Nemo days, like the early 2000s, like that era. But now it's just become repetitive, and it's all the same. It's all the same movies, just trying to make you laugh and have stuff, and it just become repetitive because there's only so many ideas you can come up with something when you have a certain type of movie format until you just run out of ideas, and they just don't have anything new or different. It's just the same old, same old, same old. There's not even any movies that are animated that are meant to be more serious. They're all meant to be adventure slash comedy things, which gets repetitive and gets in the way of there being other movies that are actually different, and as a result give you something more enjoyable to experience because there's more variety. So that is a problem with that specific thing, and that's one movie trend that needs to stop. Okay, so that's my first point. The second point on this list, that's exactly for the same reason, is superhero movies. There's just way too many superhero movies. It's just ridiculous. It's just madness. There's just too many superhero movies. There's been too many, and they just don't seem to understand that for you to have a successful company, like in the case of movies, like movie companies or any industry, whatever you like to say, you have to have variety, and they don't seem to understand this for superhero movies. They're still making superhero movies all the time, just like that recent one, I think some Wonder Woman movie or something. They don't seem to understand that they need to kind of calm down on the amount of superhero movies. There's just too many, and as a result it gets repetitive and boring, and it's like we've already seen this numerous times. Can't we have something different? Can we have some new topic being put out there instead of the same thing over and over again? Because stuff like this is the reason why movies suck nowadays, because there's no originality. It's just the same old, same old, same old. And if you obviously have movies being produced that like superhero movies all the time, you can only come up with so many ideas until you run out of ideas. Okay, there's only so many characters and situations you can put a superhero in until it's like we've already thought of this before, we've already done this before. So it's like, what's new? So that's another trend that needs to stop. Okay, superhero movies. Okay, so that's my second point. So another one on this list, definitely, that is just absolutely ridiculous, and is similar to the first two. Is remakes. Okay, this one is also very silly, like remaking movies all the time. Like, and we're not even talking about movies that were made like 3, 4 decades ago. We're talking about movies that were sometimes made like 10, 20 years ago. Like, they're making remakes for all these different things, and it just gets ridiculous, it gets silly, and it gets very stupid. So to sum things up, this one is also very silly too. There's just too many remakes. They're not coming up with new ideas. They're using the same books, the same historical events, you know the same TV shows, all that stuff all the time. you know over and over and over again, and they're just remaking the same thing over and over, and it gets very repetitive and boring. So that's another trend that needs to be stopped, and not just needs to be stopped, but it should definitely be stopped if we want to save the quality of movies. So that's my third point. Okay. Now the fourth point. Now this one is also an irritating one, but it's different from the first three. But it's definitely should not be thought of as something to ignore at all. Is of course relationships. This one is very outdated and it's very repetitive and irritating. Okay, because the truth of the matter is when it comes to relationships, like there's nothing wrong with depicting relationships, but literally every movie you watch that has a main character has some sort of relationship dynamic, which I find to be very annoying because in all honesty it just gets kind of silly and it just kind of repetitive. I feel like sometimes it's okay for a character to not to have a girlfriend or a love interest, because this one is just, in all honesty, unlike the last three, you know, is something that, of course, is different, but it's definitely something that shouldn't be done all the time because the problem with this one, which I find to be something I just don't like about it, is that when it comes to this particular issue, I think the biggest issue with this one is that it just makes the movie very repetitive and very predictable. Okay, just like he's going on a fight or something, the girl, his love interest, gets in a situation and she almost dies, and he goes to rescue her and all that type of stuff. So as a result, it makes the movie turn out in a way that's going to be predictable and not something that's unpredictable. And that's the truth. So that's a problem with that one. The relationship dynamics, it makes the movie too predictable. Okay, because the dynamics, the fundamental dynamic more like, of how to make a movie as exciting is to make the stakes as high as possible. And if you put his love interest, which he loves the most, more than probably anything or close to anything in the world, it's obviously going to be something people are going to use. And they do it all the time and it gets very repetitive. And that's honest truth of the matter. So that's my fourth point, okay? Movie trends that need to stop if we want to improve the quality of movies again, okay? Because it just makes the movie too predictable with how it's going to turn out in the end, okay? So that's my first point, okay? Now, my fifth point, the last one, this one is absolutely just straight up can piss me off, is the annoying protagonist. To be honest with you, the protagonist who's always whiny and irritating. I know people say that actually you want that because it's you want an imperfect protagonist. It's not a case about having an imperfect protagonist. It's just he's just fucking annoying. To answer your question, is extremely irritating. Like he questions everything. He's whiny. He's just irritating. It's not even a case of once in a blue moon. He's always doing it all the time. He's just stupid and dumb, especially after he's been told that he's the chosen one and he's supposed to like maybe save the world or maybe save his people or something. And the whole time, when something obviously should matter to you, specifically when it comes to saving your people, maybe he's actually a descendant of an alien from some alien species from a different planet, you assume he would at least care, but he always tends to say, well, I don't know if I really care in this and that. And it just gets very annoying. It gets very irritating because they just question everything and it gets kind of dumb. It's just like having a 5-year old in a grown person's body, and it just gets irritating to the person, and they're always making snarky marks about society and life, and it just gets to a point where it's just like, oh my god, can you just shut up? Like, when you watch a movie, you want to be immersed in the experience. You really want to enjoy the experience, not watch something that just reminds you of people in real life who are like, holy shit, I hate that person. And that's a problem with this particular thing. It kills the ability to immerse yourself and be in the story because you're just like, I hate people like this so much, it's not even funny. So the annoying protagonist, whether it's the main character or one of the main characters, is definitely something that needs to be discussed because it just gets very irritating and annoying. And it's just like, can you just please just shut up and do your mission. Okay, yes, you'll have problems here and there, but to whine all the time, it gets to a point where it just gets very annoying, and that's the truth. So anyway, this is my top five trends that need to stop in movies. Um, to be honest with you, as the truth of the matter is, if we can stop these trends, we can help make movies better as a whole. As a point of my channel is to help give advice on how to make movies better. So hopefully, people watch this in some way, somehow. It can help create change because these are trends that definitely need to stop and are definitely killing the quality of movies. And that is true. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say, and simply put, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And that is all I have to say, and simply put, I'm out. So bye.